Dear friends, in this discussion we will cover the topic like characteristics of a good program, modular programming concepts, different types of arrays in programming, and finally, the concepts of structured programming. Let us see the basics of programming. A program is a set of step by step instructions that directs the computer to do the task that you wanted and produce the results. There are several programming languages available for doing specific tasks or making specific type of applications. Web application languages, desktop application languages, scripting languages are some of the examples for this. Among all the programming languages, C programming is the very basic programming language useful for a mass. The basic structure of a C program contains following sessions. First one, documentation session, and documentation session consists of a set of comment lines giving the name of the program and other details. Next is the link section. It provides instructions to the compiler to link functions from the system library. Next, definition section defines all symbolic constants. Next, global declaration section. There are some variables and those variables are declared in this section, that is outside of all functions. Then main function. Every C program must have one main function section. This section contains two parts, declaration and executable part. Declaration part declares all the variables used in the executable part. There should be at least one statement in the executable part which contains instructions to perform certain tasks. The declaration and executable part must appear between the opening and closing braces. All statement in the declaration part should end with the semicolon. The subprogram section. This section contains all the user defined functions that are called in the main function. Characteristics of a good program. A program written in good style is easily understandable and readable. The characteristics of good program help a program to look better and more understandable. A good computer program should have the following characteristics. One is portability. Portability refers to the ability of an application to run on different platforms or operating systems with or without minimal changes. Due to rapid development in the hardware and software, nowadays platform change is a common phenomenon. Hence, if a program is developed for a particular platform, then the lifespan of the program is severely affected. Readability. The program should be written in such a way that it makes other programmers or users to follow the logic of the program without much effort. If a program is written structurally, it helps the programmers to understand their own program in a better way. Even if some computational efficiency needs to be sacrificed for better readability, it is advisable to use a more user friendly approach, unless the processing of an application is of utmost importance. Efficiency. Every program requires certain processing time and memory to process the instructions and data. As the processing power and memory are the most precious resources of a computer, a program should be laid out in such a manner that it utilizes the least amount of memory and processing time. Structural. To develop a program, the task must be broken down into a number of subtasks. These subtasks are developed independently and each subtask is able to perform the assigned job without the help of any other subtask. If a program is developed structurally, it becomes more readable and the testing and documentation process also gets easier. Flexibility. A program should be flexible enough to handle most of these changes without having to rewrite the entire program. Most of the programs are developed for a certain period and they require modifications from time to time. For example, in the case of payroll management, as the time progresses, some employees may leave the company while some others may join. Hence, the payroll application should be flexible enough to incorporate all the changes without having to reconstruct the entire application. Next is generality. Apart from flexibility, the program should also be general. Generality means that if a program is developed for a particular task, then it should also be used for all similar tasks of the same domain. For example, if a program is developed for a particular organization, then it should suit all the other similar organizations. Next is documentation. Documentation is one of the most important component of an application development. Even if a program is developed following the best programming practices, it will be rendered useless if the end user is not able to fully utilize the functionality of the application. A well documented application is also useful for other programmers because even in the absence of the author, they can understand it. Modular programming approach. Modular programming is the process of subdividing a computer program into separate subprograms. A module is a separate software component or a set of associated code statements. It can often be used in a variety of applications and functions with other components of the system. Similar functions are grouped in the same unit of programming code and separate functions are developed as separate units of code, so that the code can be reused by other applications. Modules in modular programming enforce logical boundaries between components and improve maintainability. They are incorporated through interfaces. They are designed in such a way that to optimize dependencies between different modules. Teams can develop modules separately and do not require knowledge of all modules in the system. Each and every modular application has a version number associated with it. This provides developers flexibility in module maintenance. If any changes have to be applied to a module, only the affected subroutine have to be changed. This makes the program easier to read and understand. Modular programming has a main module and many auxiliary modules. The main module is compiled as an executable or EXE, which calls the auxiliary module functions. Auxiliary modules exist as separate executable files which load when the main EXE runs. Each module has a unique name assigned in the program statement. Function names across modules should be unique for easy access if functions used by the main module must be exported. Languages that support the module concept are IBM assembler, COBOL, Fortran, C, Python, etc. Among others, the benefits of using modular programming include less code has to be written, a single procedure can be developed for reuse, eliminating the need to retype the code many times. Programs can be designed more easily because a small team deals with only a small part of the entire code. Modular programming allows many programmers to collaborate on the same application, and the code is stored across multiple files, and code is short, simple and easy to understand. Errors can easily be identified as they are localized to a subroutine or function. The same code can be used in many applications. The scoping of variables can easily be controlled. Documenting the program. Documenting is an ongoing necessary process. Documentation is the process of writing detailed description of the programming cycle and specific facts about the program. Typical program documentation materials include the origin and the nature of the problem, a brief narrative description of the program, logic tools such as flowcharts and pseudocode, data record descriptions, program listings and testing results. Comments in the program itself are also considered as an essential part of documentation. Many programmers document as they code. In a broader sense, program documentation can be part of the documentation for an entire system. The wise programmer continues to document the program throughout its design, development and testing. Documentation is needed to supplement human memory and to help organize program planning. Also, documentation is critical to communicate with others who have an interest in the program, especially other programmers who may be part of a programming team. And since turnover is high in the computer industry, written documentation is needed so that those who come after you can make any necessary modifications in the program or track down any errors that you missed. Compiler and interpreter. We generally write a computer program using a high level language. A high level language is one which is understandable by us humans. It contains words and phrases from the English or any other language, but a computer does not understand high level language. It only understands program written in zeros or ones in binary, called the machine code or machine language. A program written in high level language is called a source code. When we need to convert the source code into machine code or the understanding of machines, and this is accomplished by compilers and interpreters. Hence, a compiler or an interpreter is a program that converts program written in high level language into machine code understood by the computer. But both the compiler and interpreter will work or approach the machine language conversion in different ways. The major difference between interpreter and compiler is listed below. Interpreter translates the program one statement at a time, but in the case of compiler scans the entire program and translate it as a whole into machine code. Interpreter, it takes less amount of time to analyze the source code, but the overall execution time is slower. In the case of compiler, it takes large amount of time to analyze the source code, but the overall execution time is comparatively faster. In the case of interpreter, no intermediate object code is generated, hence are memory efficient. In the case of compilers, it generates intermediate object code which further requires linking, hence requires more memory. Interpreter continues translating the program until the first error is met and it stops. Hence, debugging is easy. In the case of compiler, it generates the error message only after scanning the whole program. Hence, debugging is comparatively hard. Programming language like Python, Ruby use interpreters. Programming languages like C, C++ use compilers. Debugging. It is a term used extensively in programming. Debugging means detecting, locating and correcting errors or bugs or mistakes, usually by running the program. These bugs are logic errors such as telling a computer to repeat an operation, but not telling it how to stop repeating. In this phase, you run the program using test data that you devise. You must plan the test data carefully to make sure you test every part of the program. After debugging, the debugger will return the error identified while debugging the program. In the final stage, we need to clear the errors. In general, different types of errors are there. They are classified as syntax error, runtime error and logical error. Syntax errors, runtime errors and logical errors. Syntax errors. Syntax or format errors are a major problem for most beginning programmers using languages such as C, C++, Java, etc. A syntax error occurs when the programmer fails to obey one of the grammar rules of the language. Typically, this involves things like using the wrong case, putting punctuation where it is not supposed to be, failing to put punctuation where it is supposed to be, etc. For example, int a comma b colon in C programming. Then this statement will produce syntax error as the statement is terminated with colon rather than semicolon, because in C programming all the statements are end with a semicolon rather than a colon. Now, the syntax of this particular programming language is violated by the programmer. This is called the syntax error. Runtime errors. A runtime error occurs whenever the program instructs the computer to do something that is either incapable or unwilling to do. Since there are a near infinite number of things that fall in this category, there are a near infinite number of ways to write programs that cause runtime errors. Runtime errors commonly occur when statements are written in the wrong order, or perhaps the order is modified by dragging the statements up and down after they are written. Another common cause of runtime errors results from the construction of instructions that the computer is unable to carry out. One of the very good example for this runtime error is the division by 0. This is the classical way to demonstrate a runtime error, that is, instruct the computer to divide any number by the value 0. Any value divided by 0 produces an infinitely large result, which is too large to be accommodated in the computer. Therefore, in most cases the computer will tell you that is unable to perform that operation. For example, in C programming language, int a comma b equal to 10 comma c equal to 0. A equal to B divided by C. This line of statement will return runtime error based on 0 division. Logic errors. Logic errors are usually the most difficult kind of errors to find and fix, because frequently there is no obvious indication of the error. Usually the program runs successfully. It simply does not behave as it should. In other words, it simply does not produce the correct answer. The cause of logic errors. Logic errors usually result from one or some combination of the following 3 causes. You did not understand how the program is supposed to behave. You did not understand the behavior of each operation that you wrote in the program. You were careless. How to prevent logic errors? In an attempt to prevent logic errors, you should make absolutely certain that you do understand how the program is supposed to behave. Make absolutely certain that you do understand the behavior of every operation that you write into your program. Not be careless. Implement a practice of testing. Apply modular programming concept will give the simplified logic version of your program. Structured programming. C is called a structured programming language because to solve a large problem, C programming language divides the problem into smaller modules called functions or procedures, each of which handles a particular responsibility. The program which solved the entire problem is a collection of such functions. One major drawback of C language is that similar functions cannot be grouped inside a module or class. Also, functions cannot be associated to a type or structure. Thus, data and functions cannot be bound together. C++ language overcomes these problems by introducing object oriented functionality in its programming capabilities. Advantages. C structured programming is simple and easy to understand and implement. It is well suited for small size implementation. However, this is not restricted. A good design can extend it to large size implementation. Programmers do not require to know complex design concepts to start a new program. Disadvantages. Data and methods are not be bind together in a module. Polymorphism and inheritance are not available. Complex design and full object oriented design cannot be implemented. Programmers generally prefer object oriented programming language over structured programming language when implementing a complex gaming applications or front end business applications. Now, let us summarize what we have discussed in this session. In this module, we discussed about the basic characteristics needed for a program and the modular programming terminology. Along with these concepts, we also covered the converting mechanism of high level language into machine level language in 2 different ways, such as the compiler and the interpreter. Different types of errors like syntax error, runtime error and logical error are the concepts we studied regarding with the debugging of a program. At last, we discussed about the concept of structured programming in the context of C programming language. Please try to work out the given assignments. Explain the structure of C programming. List out the characteristics of a good program. Write the difference between an interpreter and a compiler. Explain in detail the different types of arrays. What is structured programming? I can suggest some books for your further study. The C programming language, written by B. W. Kernighan and D. M. Ritchie, Prentice Hall Publications, Englewood's Cliffs, New Jersey, 1978. Absolute Beginner's Guide to C by Greg Perry, 2nd edition, Sam's Publishing, April 1994. Let us see by Yashwant Kanedkar, BPB Publications, New Delhi. Thank you for watching this session. See you next time. Until then, bye.